Hi, I'm Katie Scott with Kiss and Tell Scrapbooking, and I want to show you my December daily albums. And so I'm going to show you the ones that I made as the base for this year. I think you can hear me. Okay, so I made two, which I'm probably just going to end up with one. But they're both American Crafts, and they're both 8x8 albums. And so they came with page protectors, I think probably about 10 of them. So, and then I have taken the red one and kind of put bases in it, bases for pages that included like bright happy colors. So like red, pink, like a limey off green color, blue, like light blue and aqua blue. And so this is what this one looks like so far. And I've stitched around some of the pages. Like I made a pocket page and stitched this one here. I put in some like whimsical stickers. These are from me and my big ideas that I thought I might use. And so I wanted to keep these general enough so I could really do anything I wanted on any particular day. So I have not dated them. I find when I do too much pre-planning, then it becomes limiting later. So I like to just have a little bit of something down as a base, but not too much. So I'm just going to quickly, I've chosen mostly red pattern papers. I've tried to pick double-sided papers if I could find them. And then I found these on the internet. They're so cute. They are, I printed them out and they're numbered with a little like note thing, a journaling card with space for journaling. And they're really colorful and free. So that's kind of awesome. I don't remember where I found them, but they were on, I saw them on Pinterest and then I clicked through to the link and found them, and I'll put the link up on my blog. But they were really cute, so I think I may use those as the numbers for each of the days of December daily. But I'm not sure yet. I'm not totally sure. Also, my sewing machine has broken. I'm not really happy about that because I had started to do a lot of stitching on these pages. I also included just like a weekly planner sheet. I thought that might be fun as a way of recording. So that's my like bright and happy kind of colors for December daily. But what I've noticed is Allie Edwards had a blog post on November 21st that is a really awesome blog post. I think it's called Inspiration and Stories, and if you notice her pages from past years, the bases of the pages, and she's kind of a neutral, you know, she likes neutral colors, but most of the colors are neutral and it then works really well. So I thought, let's go pretty neutral with the bases. So then I also had this album. I bought both of the albums together without really knowing what I was going to do with them. And then they seem kind of perfect for this project. I'll probably end up using the red one, but just to kind of separate it out in my mind, I tried to choose more basic, neutral colors for the bases of these pages. And I also found more numbers online for free that I just printed out on cardstock. Those ones I think are so cool. They're intended to go around like a spool of thread. I'll show you. So here's a spool of thread, and they're intended to like become, I guess, decorations. The smaller spool of thread. Like somebody had made decorations kind of like ta-da, like that. That's not what I'm going to do with them. Maybe probably with a smaller spool of thread. Like a retro. Like this. This is from my grandma. And so they would, an old wooden spool, it would go like that. You can't really see it because my fingers are in the way. But trust me, it's cute. But that's not what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to use these probably as the numbered pages. There were so many cute numbers online for free that I almost can't decide which numbers I'm going to use. I almost want to do 2 albums, but that would be crazy. Don't do that. Because I tend to, and I know this about myself, start with too much gumption, and then I lose steam. So here's just a notebook paper. I tried to keep this to pattern paper that is very basic, and also stuff that I could write directly onto the paper. Because sometimes I will computer journal, but sometimes I just like to knock it out on the paper. So I haven't done very much with these pages at all. And they're in no particular order. Just show you kind of my color palette here. And my husband, he thinks this is a funny story. I don't think it's a very funny story. Okay, so about, my husband's like, you know, can fix anything. So about 2 months ago, he said, I had to go down to the office and do some work down there. That's normal, you know, on a Saturday. A lot of times he'll go down and fix something at the office that we wouldn't do during the week. And he says, I need your, you know, hole puncher thing. I said, my Cropodile? Yes, your Cropodile. I said, you mean my favorite tool? Yes, your favorite tool. And so he took my Cropodile, and I was so happy. I thought it was so cute that he was using my tool, because oftentimes I'll use some of his tools in my scrapbooking room and then he wants them back. And then I kept saying after that day, where's my Cropodile? Where's my Cropodile? Bring my Cropodile back. And he kept forgetting, and I kept forgetting to ask him when we were at the office, because then I'm in office brain, you know, not scrapbooking brain. And so he left this out in the weather for like 2 months. And it he wants we are memory keepers to know that the Cropodile can hold up in Florida weather, rain, hot sun, you know, all kinds of extremely weird weather, and still work 2 months later. And he's like, that's the sign of a good tool. I'm not really sure if I'm in love with the idea that he left this out in the elements for 2 months, but it does still work. And it's still probably my favorite tool. Although, yeah, it's still fully functional. I would almost say, you know, you need to buy me a new one, except that there's nothing wrong with this at all. Except he put some kind of oil, like metal oil on it, so it smells like a tool now, which I'm sure makes it a little more awesome for him because of the hot pink. You know, at least it smells like a man now. I did buy, hold on. Well, he kept forgetting to bring back my Cropodile. I did buy this one, which is also, it's a Cropodile too. And I also highly recommend it. I had seen it in the store and thought, like, there's no way I need another, like, my Cropodile is so awesome, why would I ever need this? Like, there's no reason. But I listened to the Paper Clipping Roundtable show when they had, I think her name is Megan, and she has a blog called The Nerd Nest, and she makes altered books like this. She makes them out of, like, real books, and then she, you know, like I haven't done a whole lot with this, but this is the basic concept there. And so what she does, here's another one. That could almost be the base of a December daily. They both could because they're red. But that's not what they're going to do. But she will use this Cropodile to get through like many pieces of paper. And so listening to that is what convinced me that I needed the additional Cropodile. My sister thinks it's hilarious that they're called Cropodiles, like crocodiles. So I would put those on my Christmas list if I didn't already have them. I might put this on my Christmas list. And the other funny thing about the office is that I have a scrapbooking room in my house. I also have a scrapbooking room in my office. Not a lot gets done at the scrapbooking room at my office, but it's a it's a nice place to go and decompress or de-stress during the day. But I just really like looking at all of my pretty stuff, and it's extra storage because the room here is small and the room at the office is also small, so it's mostly a storage room. And it's kind of like a little hallway. It's not really a room. Anyways, I might need a Cropodile for that room, because there's been times at the office when I've needed one, and even he has needed one. And so here's the rest of the book. There's a lot of Heidi Grace papers in here, and I have some flocked papers. I have like some specialty kind of papers in here that have just been kind of kicking around my scrapbooking room. I have noticed that I have a ton of holiday themed supplies, and even though I feel like I do a lot of holiday scrapbooking, still like a crazy amount of holiday Christmas themed papers. And you know, I think that you could probably get away with not buying any themed paper at the Christmas season and just like cutting up cards, because we get so many Christmas cards that it's crazy. And then I always like feel like I need to repurpose them in some way. That's pretty paper there. So I feel like I try not to buy Christmas paper because I have a lot of it already, and it's always coming in. Like, there's so many like real life ephemera type things that you could use. There's even more numbers online, and I also got these online, and they were also like a free download that you can print out on your own computer, so, or on your own printer at home. And those too, aren't those cool? Those were also free. So I'll put the links on my blog. I'm not sure which ones I'm going to use yet, but I am going to get to work on my December daily album since this December 1st. And one of the things on that Ellie Edwards blog post that I love so much is she said, or maybe it was the one she had out today, she said she tries to limit each day of December daily to one story. So she's not trying to summarize the entire day, she's just trying to limit it to one story. So today, for example, in my life, I went on a field trip with my daughter and to the Chihuly Museum. It was so cool. So I think that I'm going to choose the field trip as the story of the day. But it's also, December 1st is also my father-in-law's 91st birthday. So that could be the story of the day, except that we're having the party on Saturday, so I think I'm going to save that story till Saturday. And I also need to figure out how I'm going to incorporate, you know, the project life, which I'm now I'm doing that with December daily. So it's like a different, they're different, just different lenses almost on the day. So that is all for now, and in my next, I'm going to make another video. I'm going to show you my December, Christmas past December dailies. So there you go. That's all for now. I am Katie Scott. My blog is Kiss and Tell Scrapbooking. It's at typepad.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.